Hey y'all, so happy Friday. Today I just thought I would do a quick video because I'm in the studio working on some of these little funky journals that I love to make with a lot of my extra papers, a lot of the papers that I eco stain, just a lot of different things that I enjoy doing. And I like these sort of flip out type of journals that just incorporate all kind of little yummies. I don't know why I love these, but I do. I enjoy making them. And I generally do put them in my shop when I'm done with them, but it takes me forever to finish them because I'm this kind of person. I'll do a book like 90-something% done, like maybe 98% done, and then it can sit for weeks, sometimes even months, because then I try to figure out what I want to use to finish them. Well, I'm making myself finish like a lot of my books that I was doing for this year, this month, and that's what we're doing over on Patreon. So I thought that I would share this process with you guys as well as showing you December's printables, because the video that I have planned for tomorrow, there will be a Saturday video. The video I have planned for tomorrow is actually me working and creating a set of art journal cards using Seth Apter's rubber stamps that are some of the most incredible words, using this old typewriter font, which I love, and some really yummy paint colors. And so I did a completely different technique, using a collage technique that some of you may be just like, oh, I love that, and others may be, oh, I'm not so crazy about that. It's one of those kind of styles that I love. It's from the 30s, and it just challenges us the way we use collage. So I think they're really fun, but they're journal prompt cards that are just like really super cool. So that will be Saturday's video, and I think you guys will really enjoy that. But since I was working on these books and I wanted to show you guys the printables, I thought, hey, well, I'll just, throw in a Friday video and invite you along. And this is the kind of way that we work over in Patreon. This is kind of what I do. I just do a lot of sort of behind the scenes videos, things that I'm working on. I just share with my patrons, and we kind of sit around and talk, and well, I talk to them, and then when they get the video, they talk back to me. But anyway, so that's what this is going to be. So first, let me show you the printables. The printables are using, I found this incredible batch of hand created Irish linen. They're linen. They're beautiful laces. And I just found a whole chunk of them when I was thrifting. Just to show you a few of them. Look at this. These are just gorgeous. Look at this one. They're just amazing. And when I showed them to my patrons, like, oh my goodness, you should make some printables with those. And I was planning on doing it, so it was perfect to sort of hear that. Look at this one. Oh, this is just amazing. Look at that work. It's just incredible. And I have like this whole box is from that find. They all were in there together. I mean, even like there's one in here, there's a few in here that are like, I think they're the corners that would go to, let me see if I can find it real quick. The corners that would go to a lace, oh, of course now I can't find it, a lace handkerchief or something. I don't see it now, but if I do find it, I'll share you. But the corners come together and they're mitered, and they're not sewn together at all. They're actually sewn around that edge. Just incredible. So anyway, I wanted to show you the source of these because, like, even in this one, you can see this is a collar, and you see how it, when it was when the lace was made, it just goes around the edge, and this angle right here is not stitched. It's, completely hand done all the way around the edge. It's just beautiful. So these are the source. These are all like just one of a kind, one off, beautifully hand done lace just Irish linen lace. I mean, you can just see it's just a beautiful linen. Just the feel of it is just gorgeous. So what I did is I took some of the best things that make me happy because it's December, and I created this pack of printables. So I used lace, I used mark making, I used some of my circles that I do in the eco staining. Some of the stained papers as backgrounds. I made some really large, you know, just to blow them out so that when you use the printables, you just have this big chunk of, like, sort of seeing lace the way Georgia O'Keeffe saw flowers. Just let's make it big. Let's make it big and bold and use it in our collages that way. So I'll just do a quick flip through where I kind of juxtapose them on the papers so that they could be used different ways. That's that same color I showed you, and I just wanted to blow that flower up and just really just make it bold. So this is with, you know, some of my pattern, my staining, which I love. That's that piece of lace that I just showed you, and it's just really blown up big. And just, I mean, how cool is it to use that and collage with it and just have your way with it. Some of it will have some of my, so I did some of the scripting and just some of the mark making with it, so that you get bits of mark making, you get bits of the lace, you know, just kind of keeping it interesting. This one, oh, is this the, am I actually showing you the pack? Yeah. Okay. There's 23 of these. So some of them, I kind of did circles. I used some of the ethnic Cuba cloth as well in these. I just thought that black and cream, that black and white works so well. I mean, look at that. I mean, there's circles that are lace, some scripting, some of the Cuba cloth. I just think they're yummy. And so you can, you know, use these bits and pieces together. Look at that. Just kind of putting all these exotics together, I thought was just a neat way of doing them. Same here, just, you know, bits of the lace with the scripting, various different lace backgrounds. So I've done the lace like I always do. Some really small, and then the same one is large. And you know, so that you get bits and pieces, you know, you don't have to use it as a circle. Obviously, you can just grab some of this out and collage with the smaller pieces. So I try to mix it up so that there's a little bit of everything. This, I kept a bit of the scripting in from my new stencil collection. So that was cool. Oh, this is nice. Here's some more of the Cuba cloth down there, echoed by one of the circles that are the stained circles with some of the lace. Same thing here. So like I said, there's 23 of these, just the lace in different sizes. So that's basically the kit. It's, as always, $6. So it's a baker's dozen, 13 plus 10. You know me, I just can't ever seem just to do 13 for some reason. But anyhow, so it's a really yummy pack. I feel like it's very unusual because of the lace. You're just not going to find this lace everywhere. And if so, it's just like prohibitively expensive. And I got such a great deal on that. Unbelievable. But then I know you guys like the mark making. I know you like the staining. And the Cuba cloth and stuff like that. You guys love those from before. So these are just different patterns that I've pulled together. And I feel like go really nicely with the other packs, but yet are just yummy, unusual. And so what we're going to do today is I'm going to actually finish off some of these books that I have here. So we'll go through and do a few of these together. And I'll show you the basic meat of these books, and I just have a lot of different collaging, like I need to put stuff on the back, so that's where I'm going to use the printables, and we're just going to be collaging with these. But basically what this is it's kind of like an envelope book with a pocket. This has some of the handmade paper that I make in it, and I just stuff them with all kind of goodies, collages on the front, some of my old letters and ephemera that is that I photocopy. This is using a file folder pocket. I just make these, just kind of do my variation of this sort of thing. And then these pages are sewn in. So these are sewn in the book, and they can be written on, collaged on, it can be used a lot of different ways. You can fill them with your own junk journal type of things. And then we have these extra fold outs. So these are what I kind of finished, kind of decorating off. And each one is different because I just have fun doing these. So I sort of just grab all the bits and pieces from my studio, different things that I've been staining, and I work them in the books. Some photos of some of my old Asian prints. Some library cards get stuck in there, vintage ones. And here again, so you'll see, I won't go through each one, but I'll just kind of show you the cover. So each one is different. And this is the way I use up a lot of my papers that I'm constantly staining and making an old book pages. Yep. So here we have it. So we'll get some of these done together. That's over there. So let's start with this one. So I have this in here as a pocket. What did I decide I was going to do with this one? I think I decided this was going to go here as a flip. Yep. And I like the way this is using the Golden's iridescent bronze. I love that color, but this is a flat from a file folder, so I love that piece hanging down like that. So what I thought I would do, because I wanted to keep this back as sort of a journaling spot or a writing spot or whatever, and these just can be book as art. They don't have to be something that you have to continue to work in. And what I do is I stuff them with lots of extra bits and pieces. So if you do want to work in them, there's extra stuff in here, which are just fun. So I have these bits of an old linen napkin that I had eco stained, and then I stamped. And I like using these as tabs to hold these in to make a flap. So we're going to get this glued down. So I'm going to use the Giotto. You guys know how much I like the Giotto. Yeah. Glue stick. So I just go ahead and get a good amount of glue on there. And I know I have this in position the way I want it. I'll just take this and lay it right down, part on and part off, so that it's kind of half and half. Using my bone folder. And so that's going to make a nice flap like that. So you get to use the pocket here. You also get to write on, and it just gives it that extra interest. So we're going to put this piece up here. And this is bound with a piece of sari silk that I put across the top of that. So I just kind of, I have so many vintage fabrics and all the papers I always make. And because I just love making books, I just put them together any old kind of way that I'm sort of feeling to create something that's interesting. So that will be how it looks on the outside. We see the sari silk, we see this flap there, but when we open it, this just becomes another fold out with that there. And I think what I'm going to do is put this in there. So I'm going to cut this down just a bit. Just a little bit. Take a hair off of it, and then there'll be a pocket underneath there. So I know I'm cutting this off camera, but I'm kind of out of room. right underneath the camera since I have a lot of stuff going. So, okay, that's perfect. So I'm going to put that there. So I like to use the Fabri-Tac, but when I was using this earlier, let me just see, it was really kind of stocked up, which I didn't understand what was going on. So I don't want to spend time trying to clean this. I should have remembered before I started this video, but I may have gotten a little clog out. Let's see. Let's hope. Let's hope, hope, hope. Okay, so this is a cardstock, so I'm just, it's nothing worse than your glue not working. It looks like it's trying to, oh, thank goodness. So this is a cardstock, so this is a great piece to just make as a pocket where I don't have to worry about reinforcing it. Okay. All right. So we'll put that there. So it reinforces this and just gives another kind of tuck spot. And it puts some of this really neat Italian writing. I got this document. This is a reproduction of a document that I got years ago. I mean, oh my, at least probably before my daughter was born, and she's 19. One of the times I've went to France and went to the flea market, and so I love that. So that'll go there like that. Now let's get to this back page, because that's where I'm going to reinforce this with some of our paper. So I think this would be nice with this one. So let's go ahead and just get a bit of this white off. And then we're going to use this in sections. And this is just like, the way I work with this is I make a trifold. I have to show this structure at one point, but I use let me just get this torn, sorry. Okay, so I use, I make a trifold out of some of the papers that I stain. And I really don't care the shape. I like it to be wonky. Like you can see, this was an odd shape. It was wider here and narrower here. And then I fold it into threes. And then this being the center, one of the center of the two seams, I then take my papers and I sew them into here using a wax linen. So they're sewn in nicely. And then I start reinforcing this. Like this is reinforced paper underneath here. So I just kind of keep on building the paper up and reinforcing is basically what I'm doing. So let's take this bit here. And so what I'm going to do is I kind of just start off by tearing them a little wonky like that, and then so like that. So let's go ahead and get that on there. Although I don't really, I don't like when it sort of jots out like that. So let me just take a bit of this off. More of a straight line. Okay. And I really don't, it's like intuitive collage. So I honestly, I don't study it really long. I just kind of start grabbing bits and pieces that I feel this is going to work. And I just kind of go for it. So using the Giotto, let's give it a really, and this is printed on a really nice, this is printed on the Hammer Mill, 28-pound color copier paper, premium. So it's not a glossy paper but it is a premium. It's a color copier paper. So it's a nice heavy stock. So let's go ahead and put this down like that. So just kind of do some collaging with this. Okay. And let's see what other piece. This is nice. So, similar thing. So just get a kind of and then up here I just kind of, you know, just go free form with it. I don't like over think it. Just and then I have other papers, you know, like my other little scrap papers I pull from. So we just use different bits here. So that'll go. Oh, I love that. I just love working with this lace. And though you think that, you know, maybe it's just so contemporary. And I think when you make it big, you really like emphasize that pattern, so it doesn't really look as dainty. And I feel like it goes well in with this sort of grunge look that we like. But you really just having that big pattern really allows you to appreciate the pattern, the artwork in this lace. I just had to feature it because someone spent a lot of hours, a lot of time in their life creating these beautiful laces. And I just wanted to create something that we all would just really be able to enjoy and appreciate the work that's in them. Love it. And so since this is a fold, sometimes what I like to do is get, and this is just different things you can do to reinforce. Hold up, where's my little bag of stuff? Okay, any other time it's right here. Why is that? Oh, it's the case. I turn the camera on and then I can't find my little bag of goodies. This is insane. Okay. Well, I'm going to be able to show you that right off until I find them. Wait, is this it right here? Hold on, let me reach around some of my piles. That's really funny. I just had it, so it means it's somewhere right in front of me. But you can take some of the sari silk and reinforce your edges. Do I have any right here? Oh, this is really annoying because I just had it. Okay, I'm gonna keep working and I'm gonna believe it's gonna pop up. How's that? But in the meantime, what we can also do here is so let's grab some. So I have my other scraps here, so I like to, let's put some other stuff in here. So this would be cool here. This is a little bit of that Asian, maybe not because this isn't really strong, but I'll put it up here. Let's put it up there. Because you want to kind of, on those folds, I like to try to put something that's going to be a little, oh, look at that. That's good stuff. I like to put stuff that's going to be a little, you know, stronger. And for this thinner, you know, paper, and it's a little older and a little more brittle, I go back to my Uhu because it's not as aggressive as the Giotto, so I don't have to worry about ripping the paper, and at the same time it is still good enough to really get it down to really, you know, so it really sticks. So, okay, let's open this up. So we have, let me see. We'll go back to this fold. That is insanity that I don't know where my little, I have a whole baggie full of my, all right. Of my, you guys are saying it for me, I know, because I'm still looking around. Oh, look at that, that looks good. And see how it looks with the brown papers and all of that, of the sari silk. Okay. But what I can do, since I can't find that, I can take a bit of this lace, because I have been using the lace so that when I make these books, you know, I may have a bit of, okay, like, we can use some of that. Just try to put a little bit of the handmade, of this lace in here to share it out and use it in the books. So I want to just reinforce this seam a little bit. So I can literally take and put this lace down. Let's just cut a bit. You can do this with any kind of, you know, fabric. Preferably something thinner so that it really integrates nice. Like I said, oftentimes I use a sari silk, but I've been using this lace too, so this works. So I like to take the Giotto because the Giotto really does hold this stuff down. So I'm just going to really get a lot of glue on this lace. Just really get it down in there. Okay. And go ahead and put this down. So when you have a fold like this, it may be, it's a little thinner than, and the paper on that fold can be a little thin, and you really want your book to really hold up to the test of time and for that fold to not over time, you know, rip or something. Just reinforce it with some kind of fabric of some sort, and it looks nice and it also does the job. So while I'm waiting for that to dry up, I got that right on the fold. Yep, that looks good. Let's go into my little stash here and find some more paper. Like, I think I'll use just grab some more of, how about I use a little bit of that. That's the same, it's similar as the print inside here. Let's use a little bit of that, and this is on onion skin. So I'm gonna leave this flat for a while until this dries better. And so I'll just grab a bit of this, put it down. Okay. So it's just mixing paper. So I know one of the, okay, I finished up the back side. I think my camera stopped a little bit, but you guys see that. And that's really looking good. Look how good the lace looks on there. Just, I'm loving it. So inside, let's do a similar thing. Let's see what else can we find here that works with it. And I even did some that are, okay, so this mark making would be kind of cool inside of this one, wouldn't it? Some of these are just my throwaways. So like they're, you know, the ones that I showed you earlier are, for the most part, the ones that we're using. And then some of these were just testing color or working with different design ideas that maybe they didn't make the cut, but you know, just because a lot of times I had to limit because I made so many. I think I had 30 something and I had to just start limiting them. But I believe this one is in there, or one very similar to this one. Might have a few extra circles on it. So I thought, yeah, I love working with these. And a lot of times when I'm making my printables, this is the kind of stuff I'm making them for, like for the different projects. And because I just like collaging, and I like, honestly, collaging with my own papers instead of, you know, the ones that, I mean, since I can make them, and I have lots of you know, I'll just put that whole thing across there. I like it like that. And since I have lots of inspiration papers and fabrics that I'm always making, I'm just going to lay this whole thing down. And, or do I want to, I kind of want this as a pocket, right? So since I want that as a pocket, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and kind of cut it out. Not a lot of fussy cutting, but I'm going to cut it out and use this as a pocket and collage this other bit down. Yeah, I like that better. So what we're going to do while we're waiting to put this other bit down, we'll just glue this down till we get a backing. So using the Giotto, what I do is I'll glue this down, let it sit for a minute, and then tear that edge again. So this is what I'll be doing with those books. You see I've got quite a few to finish, so I'll be finishing those here in the studio. But I just thought it was a cool way to hang out with you all, kind of do maybe a different sort of video where, you know, I'm not so much doing a tutorial. We're just kind of hanging out and you see how I'm working on some of my projects and show you guys these really yummy printables as well. So we'll let that sit up. So let that sit up while that is on for it. We will then take, let me see if I want to use this as a pocket. Let me get this on there. Okay, so put that there. This is a fold here. So I think I'll avoid that fold so it just doesn't start getting too thick. Tear that like that. Okay, so this will get glued down. So we're gonna, You'll see why I'm keeping this edge up there, because I kind of like to create this really natural ripped edge. And I do it by just putting a full sheet down and then kind of going with the contour of it, which I'll show you. I don't know if I've shown you that before, but if I haven't, we'll do it now. I can't remember between all the videos that we do over on Patreon and what have you. Kind of lose track of when I'm showing things. But let's put it right, because I don't really need to worry about that being, because that's going to go there. Okay. Alrighty. So, okay. So we'll let that go like that. And then I'm going to find something else to put there. Let me see. What do I have here in my pack? Ooh, this will be nice because we've got these oranges over there. So, except for I want to use this as a whole piece. So, and these would be good for, you know, of course, journaling cards. Let me just take a bit of this. This could be good. Yep. Should I do it like that, or should I get a little bit of... No, I'll just do it like this. So, this piece will come off here. And we'll get that piece down. So I'm going to tear this, get that white edge off. So you just have to sometimes tear it the reverse way. Okay. So, here again, our Giotto. Got to get me some more book pages. I'm running out. What's that underneath there? Okay. Alrighty. So, let's go ahead and get this in there like that. Alrighty. So, that's looking good where this fold is. Yep. Okay. Alrighty. So, before we work with that pocket, now what we're going to do is we flip this over, and what I do is I wanted that lace to kind of stick up. So what I'm going to do is I kind of hold this edge here, and I just tear against it, holding it. You still want it to be a little bit wet so the page is pliable. But what it does is it gives us another ripped edge there. And as this dries down, I'll actually tear that down a little bit more to get rid of a little bit of that, or I'll just ink it. Either way. But it just gives you that really nice little raw edge that follows the edge you already had going there. So the same thing here. Do the same thing. So just what you want to do is you want to hold it so that you can tear it against the edge you already have. And with it being wet, you still get a nice edge. And a little extra glue here. I didn't get it glued good there. Okay. 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 And then let's good just to let it set up a little bit so that it doesn't, so it's not too wet. So you it's like kind of that medium point where you want it, you know, so it's still damp, so it tears easily, but not so much that you kind of rip into your page funny. That's looking good. So we just have this edge to do. Same thing. I'm just going to hold it against this piece and just rip it. My fingers are so sticky now. It's funny. Alrighty. And then any place that you want to get rid of that white, you can use, just kind of keep on burnishing until it's where you want it. What I've been using is Patti from Stains Patti Pockets. She sent me some of this to try, and I'm absolutely in love with it. I actually think I mentioned this to you guys before in our Advent, and I do have, next week I'm going to do a video where I'm actually using this with the jelly plate. Yep. So I'll be showing you guys that, but in the meantime, like for this white here, you can just take this and rub it on there. And what I like about it is it dries, it doesn't dry shiny or anything like that. It dries matte. I love it. And I just think it gives such a natural staining to everything. So, you know, any places that are white, you can kind of do that. And it just gives a nice extra bit of staining. And it's so easy to use. That's the other thing I like about it. And the cleanup, you don't have to worry about cleanup. Just kind of put your brush in the there's some water over there. So that also helps with the little white edge that can happen from that tearing. Oh, I love this. Look at that. Yum. I'm always trying to keep my area, work area, neat, because I can get messy quickly. Okay, so I love that. Okay, so see how nice that lace is? And it just gives a really nice edge to that folded piece. So it's reinforced. It adds that extra bit of texture. So you could do that with any laces that you already have. Even if you have new laces, just, let me get this edge down better. Just stain them. Put them in a little bit of coffee or tea. But you can't use synthetic laces like that. You have to use cotton, linen. You have to use some kind of, or silk, some kind of natural fiber, because the lace, I find that, just get that down, that the synthetic laces just don't stain with any of the natural dyes. Now, I mean, you're going to have to use some kind of synthetic dye or something to get that stain to stay in them. So if you do, you can, like, I guess you can use Ritz or something like that, or one of the dyes that will, you know, that will change the color on synthetic fabrics. Okay, that's nice. So now this is ready as well. So what I'm going to do is, I like to rip everything, especially if I'm ripping things and I just kind of like those edges on it all. So I just take my straight edge and put it up against this edge. My fingers are so sticky. Gosh. Same thing here. And see, the way you see how I'm using bits and pieces of these same papers, and it all looks different because of the way that I try to select the prints when I'm doing the printables. I try to give you guys bits and sections of stuff that actually, if you separate them, you've got a lot of, like, all of this is off this same page. Well, this one isn't. This is off the other one. This is from the same page, and this is from that first piece that we did here. And just taking those two sheets and tearing them differently, look how many different elements, like all of these are the different elements from those same two pages. So always think about the printables, like look at my printables in a way where you can sort of see, oh, this is good. Put this down. I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to rip this right down the middle of this, well, let me see, on this fold, and then that way I get about right there. And then that way you get a lot of uses out of those pages. They're just not like all the same, you know. It's not just one full sheet, but there's a lot of different variations in those sheets. So kind of look at them like that as well. Okay, so now this is going to be a pocket right here. And I made sure I cut it short so it wasn't like in the fold there. And then we're going to do the same thing. I just rip right close to what I tore. And when you use a book sheet, I'm like, I even like seeing a little bit of the text that falls underneath it. So that little bit of text that ends up showing, I like that as a part of the edge for the pocket, because these are pockets. So I think that that looks really cool. So let's go ahead and put this down. Okay. Okay. This is so much fun. I love making these books like this and working with all of these bits. All right. So there we have that. So it gives us a pocket right on the inside of this book. And then here, let's just rip this. I think I was going to make this like a, I'll see if it holds up to being, I don't know, it might not be. Even though I've backed it, it still might be a little wonky. Let's see if I could do it as a side tuck. Now I'll use it somewhere else because I feel like it's too much. That can go somewhere else. What do I want to put right down here? Let's look at my little stash of stuff here. I make up tons of things because a lot of these bits and pieces, like all this stuff I make with the staining, some of these bits and pieces will find their way, if not in the journal, it's the extra stuff I'll put in to kind of go along with it. It's like always, oh, I know what I could use. I know it'll be cool. I think it's going to be in here, is it? My extras, but I'll put them down there. Maybe they are down here. Yeah. So I have some of these cards that are stained up. I also have some flocked papers. That's what I'm looking for. I just saw them in here. I try as, oh yeah, here we are, to keep myself organized with all these bits, but I don't know. Because so these are some stained flock papers that I have. I love, love, love these. Ugh. So these are actually Gelli printed pieces. So sometimes I'll stick these in, like which one goes? Let's see. This one's cool. And these can just be tuck spots that can go into the pockets like that. That works well color-wise. So these are flock papers that I stain front and back, depending on how I want to use them. But like this one, this kind of purple one, will go nice there. It's a stain. And so what we can do here is I'll just make that a pocket. How about that? Just do another pocket. Can't have enough pockets in these journals. And then I can actually have it hanging down because see the backside has, oh, look at that. I like this. The backside has a pattern on it. So we can have that hanging down below the book, which actually gives this extra texture front and back to it. Like that. How cool is that? And it gives us a pocket as well. So I'm going to use my corner, my angle. This is a crocodile, but they're the angles. I'm going to use the large angle just to get a piece of this out of here, just to give it a more of a, you know, an interesting corner to the pocket, like that. And then I'll do the same for the bottom, but I'll use the small angle just to take a little bit of it out. I love this angle. So as opposed to doing a rounded corner, it gives this sort of square corner. So if I put this here like that, and then let it hang down a bit, I get a pocket. But then I get this yummy flocking that I'm going to see through like that. And when I flip it this way on the back, we see it as well, which is really, really cool. So just think in terms of your papers, when you know, you stain them front and back. That way you never know how you want to use them. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get glue across the bottom first, since that's an odd, you know, angle. This gives you an idea how I like to put my books together. I just kind of go with it. And everything for me is really intuitive. Like I'll have a rough idea of what I'm going for, but each one is definitely different. And I just kind of let the book kind of dictate what it wants to do. Except for this, it's just not wanting to flow today. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to fool with that. I'll just go to my Fabri-Tac, because the Fabri-Tac is good for this too, right? Let's go ahead and put her down. We know she's going to flow. And then, based on where I want to put this, I kind of want to just kind of, you know, rough out where that's going to go. Because this is hanging down below a bit, right? So, like that is good. Use my tissue. Love this flock paper. Now this flock paper, I know you guys are going to ask me about it. It's actually, what's her name? Like Annie Sloan. But I haven't been able to find it in recent months. I think it was like a limited edition or something like that. I've gone to her website a number of times to see if she's bringing it back. Honest to goodness, I wish she would, because I love it. And I love staining it. It stains so beautifully. So you get this really nice coloration going on here. You can see it stained up with all the coffee and stuff down in there. But then, and the back does beautifully. But, and it just gives that old world look to it. So we have a pocket here that also extends beneath the journal. And to me, this is what these journals are about. I like playing with the you know, going beyond the edge and just really creating something that's got a lot of interest going on. Now these papers are, this color I got using avocado. So these papers were avocado dyed. And so I think that's why even this, even though it was a purpley kind of color, or like, it was more like a lilac, when I stained it, it comes close to the color of the avocado stained paper. So you really get a really, you know, good push and pull of patterns and what have you. So I think this one is done. I really like it. I know I'll stuff a few more things in it before it's out the door, because I like to stuff lots of extra bits that I have, and you know, different yummy papers. So when the person gets it, they may want to keep on adding stuff to it. It's like in a pocket like this, I'd probably put this in here, put some extra stuff. If I don't use this, I'll stick this in there as well. So it's like extra stuff in there ready to go. That could be used in this journal, or it could be used in, you know, like you can make your own and then add some of these pieces into it. But let's just flip through it. So we have our front cover. There's a pocket in here, and there's this handmade, this is my handmade paper. So I put the handmade paper inside of some of these pockets that can be used different ways. Love it. And then this is that fold, this flip that we put in using old linen napkin that I stained. And it really makes a sturdy flip. You don't have to worry about this going anywhere. And right on the back of it, here's another pocket right here that we have. And then we have our pages. Some of these are Gelli printed pages and stained papers and all kind of goodies. And then we have our back panel, move this out the way, fold out. So this folds out. And, you know, we have a pocket here. We have another pocket here. And then on the back, so printables with this yummy piece of lace, and then this hanging over the edge. That's the back side of that pocket. This is the vintage Asian paper. This is really old paper. So I like to put bits and pieces of that in there, along with this beautiful Irish lace. And yeah, oh, this goes like that. I was wondering why it wasn't closing. And there we have it. So using our printables, and so you guys could definitely recreate this, right? I mean, you have a lot of these papers, just make a TriFold, do a pamphlet stitch in the TriFold, and then just go through all your yummies and everything. You could get this month's printables, you can use the other printables. You don't, you know, have to necessarily get these. These are some other colors. This was like a chartreuse. This was like a darker tan, a lighter tan. The black doesn't get, you know, change that much, but you get this yummy pattern on the back. There's also a pink, I know. Here, this is a bit of it that I've already used, but a pink. There's all different colors in this pack that I got. And so I will probably finish this by wrapping in here one of my Sorry Silks. If I had them, whatever I did with that bag, I don't know. I would share it with you guys, but you'll see it. I'll show it again. And then you just wrap the whole thing closed, and you just got this yummy little bundle of just goodies, you know, the kind of stuff that just makes our heart skip a beat, right? See how Patti's stuff, it just stains. I love the way it stains, and it just gives like just an old world look. I mean, it just looks like old paper. It doesn't look like ink or something that you put down. So I love, love, love her stuff. I'll put the link below for this product. She sells it on her Etsy store. Thank you so much again, Patti, for reaching out to me and asking me to try this. I love this product, and I will definitely be keeping it among my stash of things that I use. All right, take care, everyone. Love you all. Please, if you like the video, please thumb it up. And if you're not a subscriber, subscribe to my channel. And I'll see you guys the next time. Bye-bye.